Return of the Mount Hua Sect, Chapter 236. This is hell. Yoonjung looked up at the sky and thought, I want to cry. Why is the sky so clear today? Chongmyung clapped his hands and then suddenly stretched out his shoulders with a proud expression. He then began to imitate Yoonjung from a while ago. I don't know. Does a human need a reason to help others? And Jogul, who was standing in front of Chongmyung, became very surprised at Chongmyung's childish actions. I do what my heart leads me to do. That is Tao. Chongmyung and Jogul laughed, and Yoonjung continued to look up at the sky. He then looked at them from the corner of his eyes. These Sajils, what did I do to get such people? Just move over. Why on earth did he have to go through so many hardships just because he said what he wanted to? Mount Hua has Taoists. Chongmyung, we do have Taoists. We are Mount Hua because of our Taoists. Ah, right. Sorry. Of course. Our Mount Hua has fine Taoists. Just Taoists. Sahyung, this Saje is so impressed by you. Chongmyung, I'd rather just die. I think I would be more grateful to have my fist on his face rather than just words. Yoonjung wiped his tears and looked back at Baekchun with earnest eyes. Baekchun, who understood that, coughed and looked at the two of his juniors. You should stop it now. All right. Yes, I understand, Sasuk. When the two of them, who were joking around, had gone silent, Baekchun nodded his head and said, A great Taoist has been born in Mount Hua, so you shouldn't be teasing him like this. You cannot make fun of Yoonjung. You shouldn't imitate his Tao. Baekchun covered his mouth as he burst out laughing. Sasuk. Sorry. I kept thinking. Seeing Baekchun's walls collapse, Chongmyung didn't miss his chance. That is what Mount Hua teaches its disciples. I said stop it. Stop it. Chongmyung was excited. Yoonjung fell into contemplation about life and the Tao as Chongmyung wiped his tears away. Baekchun put his hand on Yoonjung's shoulder and said after a couple of coughs, There is nothing you have to be ashamed of. You are amazing, and it isn't like you did anything wrong. Moreover, we would never be able to do it. Right? To know that I had such a great Sahyung. This disciple, Chongmyung, feels amazed. Sahyung, now I believe in Sahyung alone. Baekchun rubbed his hands and pushed Chongmyung to the side. He is right. Is Sasuk going to make fun of me as well? Baekchun once again covered his mouth, trying to not laugh. Is this hell? This is hell. Seeing Yoonjung in embarrassment, Baekchun had a sorry expression on his face. Actually, what Yoonjung had done today was really wonderful. No matter how perfect his words had been, it wouldn't have been easy to convince the people of the Beast Palace. But Yoonjung convinced them not with logic, but with his understanding of the Tao. You have done a wonderful task. Thanks to this, Mount Hua was able to strengthen their relationship with Yunnan. In comparison to this, obtaining a monopoly on Yunnan tea was considered trivial. Just building a friendship with the Nanman Beast Palace was amazing in itself. We have obtained a lot of unexpected things on our trip this time. The Beast Palace was one thing, but they formed an alliance with the Tang family as well. Along with that, they also laid a great network with many powerful forces. And above all, are you taking good care of the purple woodgrass? Look at that. Baekchun turned his head and noticed that Chongmyung still had the sack wrapped on his back. It seemed as though he would never let anyone else get a hold of it. At that point, it seemed safer than the Imperial Palace treasury. I think the same. Baekchun smiled and cleared his throat. Come closer. Yes, Sasuk. Jogul, Yunjong, Chongmyung, and Yu Yisol gathered around. First of all, it might be a little early to say this, but you all went through so much. Not at all, Sasuk. But it is too early to feel reassured yet. Our goal isn't to find the grass, but to bring it back to Mount Hua safely. Right, Chongmyung said firmly. We will transport it as fast as possible. Yes, Baekchun nodded. Everyone has done a lot and have gone through a lot until now. So, let's rest together for a while after we reach Mount Hua. You're saying such obvious words, Sasuk. Right. Then first, I guess we need to meet with the merchant group again. Huh? Why then? At Chongmyung's words, Baekchun frowned slightly. Isn't that the only way to get out of Yunnan? What? We can just buy a carriage. We even have horses. Horses? Baekchun was a bit shocked. I am too hungry. I will really die from this. I can't even beg. The people here are heartless. It looks like my skin will start to sag from now. I have nothing to depend on. At the pouring complaints of his accomplices, Bangyo sighed. A few days had passed since Chongmyung had left them after a warning. They were left in a remote place with nothing to do, so they decided to just pass their time there. What can we do? There's no other way. Why don't we try stealing? I don't have the key to do anything like that. Can we even be called bandits without our key? Just who got us into this position? Bangyo had tears in his eyes. If rumors start to spread that a thief had suddenly appeared in Kunming, everyone is bound to get suspicious. Do you have that confidence to handle that? As soon as those words came out, a man's face popped into the minds of everyone there. A man whom even a dog wouldn't bite. He is worse than most bandits. Just thinking about it made them groan. They were the bandits. Bandits were just a collection of normal thieves, and thieves were people who lacked morality. Those who could think right would never turn to becoming a bandit, regardless of how hard their lives were. No, even if they stole things when times got hard, they would never do such things again. To put it simply, it meant that nobody who had even a little bit of sanity in this world would willingly jump into this. And even in the eyes of such men, the man called Chongmyung had gone too far. It made them wonder what the heavens were thinking when they sent him into the world. Then what do we do? What else do? We wait. And what if we starve to death? That is better. A whole lot better, right? Everyone sighed. They were all wondering how they had come across such a devil. In my opinion, he will beat us to death with a smile on his face if we ask for it. I wonder what he saw when growing up. One of the bandits looked at Bangyo with tears in his eyes. But what do we do? Can we get released? How can I know that? You are our head. If he comes back from this place, we have to go through a lot more hardships and eventually be beaten to death, right? It is better to run now. How do we live without internal ki? But shouldn't we head back to Sichuan? Sichuan? Did you say Sichuan? Yes, it is still our place. What are you, an idiot? Bangyo shouted. How many grudges have we accumulated in Sichuan? Do you think we can even survive if rumors spread about the fact that we lost our strength and turned into normal people? There will be over 100 people chasing after us with axes in their hands. Still, if we ask for the protection from the Green, do you think they will protect us? That man is someone who throws a healthy man to a tiger as food because of the loss of a single arm. Do you think that such a person would protect someone with no internal ki? No one spoke as they heard that. Bangyo clicked his tongue as he looked at them. For now, it is best to just hold on here. Do you think that man will free us if we go to him? No, they would just make us work and hit us even more. And if we make a mistake, we will surely be killed. You're quite aware. Right. It is obvious. It is obvious how vicious he is. I don't think he is that bad. What are you even talking about? I've never seen a vicious person like him in my life. I'd rather get hit by someone else. I have always been proud of my profession, but once I saw him, I had to let go of that. Whew, then it's a good thing. Right? Right. It is quite good. Bangyo slowly turned his head to the direction of the voice. His subordinates, who also became shocked when they heard the voice, also slowly turned their gaze. And Bangyo felt something inside him, causing him to turn pale. When he finally turned his head to the side where the voice had come from, a familiar smiling face could be seen. It felt like the world had stopped. Bangyo immediately began to have cold sweat running down his body. He eventually opened his mouth with a trembling face as if he had seen a ghost. When did you? Just now. Then, who talked? Yes, it was me. Bangyo's face turned black after a while. Chongmyung smiled brightly. What I just meant now was... It is fine. It's totally fine. Chongmyung reached out and tapped Bangyo's shoulder. Such things can happen. In places where I don't exist, people are free to swear at others. I am sorry. I said it's fine. Chongmyung smiled happily. I am not a very bad person. I am a Taoist after all. I understand everything. A Taoist? This bastard is a Taoist. You're talking so much shit that no one would ever speak if they heard you. Where in the world has there ever been such a Taoist? Bangyo rolled his eyes as he heard it. Seeing those eyes, Chongmyung smiled delightedly. Do you know why a Taoist is a Taoist? Well, even if you hear bad things from others, you have to be able to give things to others. I learned that from my Sahyong, so I have prepared a present for you. Chongmyung moved back and came back carrying something and threw it at Bangyo. This. Bangyo tilted his head. What Chongmyung brought was hay. But what is the use of hay in Yunnan? Seeing Bangyo puzzled, Chongmyung smiled happily. As you can see, it is hay. I do, but why? No matter what, presents are great if it is something to eat. Eat it. Bangyo looked at Chongmyung with blank eyes. To eat? Hay. How can people eat this? People? Chongmyung, who frowned, opened his eyes. It was difficult for Bangyo to look into his glistening eyes. Is there anyone who is a person here? You are all horses, right? Think carefully. Yes? A horse. It is strange for me to get angry when a horse talks behind my back. But if it is a human... Clench. The stone in Chongmyung's hand was crushed. They need to pay up for their sins. Do you want to eat or get hit? Do you want to eat or turn into humans? The answer came right away. I will eat it. We love hay. Thank you. You have thought so far for us. Chongmyung smiled happily. Right? Eat a lot. Yes. Tears flowed from their eyes as they grabbed the hay. This was the price of meeting someone they shouldn't have met.